Ah, look at this. Do you know what this is? This right here is the cafe from National Lampoon's European Vacation with a beautiful view of the Eiffel Tower in the background. You know what else it is? It's a sometimes vlog, yeah. It's a vlog that happens sometimes, and every once in a while, it happens in Paris, France. I've been coming here for about 9 years now. We missed the Olympics in the summer. Last time we were here was actually on Halloween last year, and this fine, brisk, cold, freezing morning in late November, Allie and I are back for just 1 week, most of which is going to be rainy and cold. It was rainy and cold when we got here yesterday, but luckily today we've got this one beautiful day of sunshine here. It's only like 34 degrees, so it's relatively warm, and we're gonna smash in as many of the sights, sounds, and smells of old gay Paris as we possibly can today. Look at this, the Eiffel Tower over here, and as we cross the road, we're gonna pass 8,000 kinds of scammers. This is one thing I wish I had known more about when I first came to Paris, because there are so many kinds of scams in Paris. I'll elaborate in a minute. This guy is he's blow-torching the road. What's he blow-torching the road for? I don't know how many are out today, just because it's been raining all week. There's not that many tourists at the moment. You'll see all these guys selling little Eiffel Towers on the side of the road. That is an illegal activity. I always wondered how they got away with it, right? They set out a blanket, they put little Eiffel Towers or berets or beanies or whatever. It's like illegal vendors all over the place. And then one time, Allie and I were here, and I saw a cop coming around the corner, and all those guys just take the corners of the blanket, have strings on, and whoosh, and they just disappear. And then just like the illegal vendors, most of the scam artists out here will have people working with them, like some groups of people that are lookouts. They have earpieces. They're pretty sophisticated, but there's all kinds of scams. Like there'll be people with clipboards, and they'll come up to you and pretend to be deaf, and they want you to sign something or give a donation. One that's pretty bad and happened to Allie right over here by the Eiffel Tower some years ago is you'll get guys that want to give you a free gift. They get all close to you, and then they'll put like a little woven bracelet around your wrist and tell you like, oh, it's a free gift, it's a free gift. And as soon as that bracelet's on, they'll start to pull out pictures and go, look, give me something for my son or for my daughter. My kid is blind, he needs to go to school, all that kind of stuff. And I knew about that scam. I kind of tried to warn Allie about it. One guy got her so quick though. He got that thing on her wrist and they tie it all up so you can't pull it off quickly. And in my defense, I had warned her about this, but Allie's always like, well, I feel bad, I want to be nice. And the guy put the thing on her wrist. But in this weird case, we got surrounded by like the whole crew of guys, and they got one on my wrist before I was paying attention. And then they're like trying to go behind you, do the whole pickpocketing thing. And then they put all this pressure on you once it's on, like, well, wait, we can't take it off. You got to give us something. You got to give us something. Give us 20 euro, 40 euro, 60 euro. And some people will end up paying like 100 euro just to get this group of guys away from them. So it's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful as it is, even in sort of the early winter, late fall, when it's like the leaves are falling off the trees and everything's soggy and wet. It can be kind of fraught with all kinds of scams. Of course, there's the regular pickpocketers. You got to watch out who bumps into you. Don't keep your wallet in your back pocket. One time I was taking the train back from Paris to Disneyland Paris. I was so sleepy and I was like kind of falling asleep, and there were some guys at the far end of the car, and I kind of nodded off for a second, and I woke up and there was a guy in my face like, watch out! And I looked over and those guys that were across the car were way closer, like they were about to rob me or something. Oh, pause on the scam talk and look at this little train. Look at this guy, he's getting all the little dumpsters out of the park over here. He's got his golf cart connected in a little train. That's awesome. No, thank you. See, there was a lady right there with a clipboard. She wants to get a donation. It's like, oh, we're doing fundraising here, this, that. Sometimes they'll have accomplices, so they'll stop you at the clipboard and they'll pickpocket you, or sometimes it's just straight up just trying to get fake donations from you. And then specifically over here, I see this all the time in Montmartre, and I see it over here by the Eiffel Tower. You have the cup and ball guys, so you have the guys on the ground, and they're doing the whole like, hey, which cup is the ball under kind of thing. And they'll usually have whole crews. They'll have their brother, you know, it'll be Yuri and his brother Boris is there, like, oh, fake gambling and winning. They try to get you to gamble. And I actually watched a video recently where some guys were like recording them, but they got caught, and the guys are like pushing them and spitting on them, trying to beat them up. So you gotta be careful around here. Mainly as long as you mind your business, you say no immediately, don't make eye contact, keep walking, you'll be completely fine. It's mostly just the Eiffel Tower sellers and little illegal vendors and stuff like that for the most part. But you gotta keep your head on a swivel here. You gotta watch out or you'll get scammed like that. Anyways, we've arrived. Look at it. The Eiffel Tower, 1,083 feet tall. Would you look at the size of that needle? It is absolutely gargantuan, and I can't believe Allie and I have actually been to the top of that thing. I am not the biggest fan of heights in the world. Well, heights aren't the problem. It's the fear of plummeting from them. So when I look up there, I cannot believe we were up there once. 1,083 feet up in the air. That is 216 alleys tall. It is massive. Actually, when we were up there, they were doing like the Paris Marathon or something like that. So we were up there watching all the runners go by. It was pretty awesome. Hey, look how cute you look. 216 alleys tall. Wow. Man, imagine if I just had 2 alleys. I'd be rich. I don't know what that means. Weird. You used to be able to just walk right through here, just over onto the bridge. Now you have to go through a security screening because there were some nefarious incidents in sort of the mid-2010s that happened in Paris. And ever since then, they've had this barrier. You got to go through a little metal detector, and the lines can be quite long. We're not really focusing on the Eiffel Tower today, but I couldn't start doing some vlogs in Paris without stopping by the icon, the symbol of France. It's funny because, you know, the thing was built for a World's Fair, like a World's Exhibition, and the Parisians back then thought it was the ugliest thing in the world. They wanted nothing to do with it, but after a while they got used to it. It's like, you know, typical French. It's like, might as well leave it. All right, we're gonna get some fun pics for Allie over here, and then we're going to travel all the way across to a different portion of Paris, a little more of a Paris-y looking part of Paris. And this is just sort of an off-the-cuff adventure. You're just taking a little ride with us, a little journey into what we're doing today. Oh, see, there goes one of the clipboard people right there. She's walking by. Excuse me, speak English? Speak English? Well, yeah, I speak English. Okay, look, you can see one of the elevators. You can just barely see it sort of going up at this weird angle, but I can also see the stairs right there. There are people going up the stairs. I cannot imagine. I mean, they're just going to this first deck, but still, dude, I cannot imagine going up all those stairs. That is too much. You may see a lot of flickering. That's because the LED lights are different here than they are in America. So our American cameras are set to different settings. You may hear some wind noise. I didn't have time to build this vlog to scale or to paint it. It's just sort of random. We're just cruising around the Eiffel Tower now. We're gonna go look for someplace to catch an Uber across the city and someplace for Allie to eat, usually McDonald's. For some reason, she always wants to eat French McDonald's. What is it about French McDonald's? We have McDonald's at home. Cut to the McDonald's at home. It's better? Like how?
I don't know. It just tastes different. It tastes real.
Tastes French?
Yeah.
Ooh, people are getting fun pics over here. They're gonna send that back to the fan. We're gonna go around behind them. See the Eiffel Towers on the ground, on the blankets. Like I was saying, they can snatch that up super quick if a cop heads this way. I was really hoping we'd get a glimpse of one of the cup and ball guys. They're around. They're usually over on that bridge over there. That's where I see them the most. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to come to the Eiffel Tower, do it. Just watch your step. And don't gamble on the cup and ball, it's a scam. Ah, see, see the bundles? They bundle those up super quick, super quick. Ooh, those aren't Eiffel Towers, those are beanies over there. Look at all those beanies. And yeah, it's weird because I was just thinking, who gambles on the cup and ball anyways? I don't think I would gamble on the side of the street full stop. Last time I was in New York, there was a guy with like a sheet of cardboard on the ground. He was doing some kind of dice game. He's like, you want to throw some dice? You want to play? And I was like, why would I do that? But it does happen. People think they're quicker than the scam artist's magic hands, the way they hide the ball, they keep it in their hand. It's never under the cup you think it is. It's always in their hand. I kept going for longer because I was hoping if we crossed the bridge, we would see the cup and ball guys, because this is usually where I see them. But I'm glad I did anyways, because I was hoping to see if the Olympic rings were still up on the Eiffel Tower. They are not, but behind me over here, on the bridge, they've blocked out the center portion, and it's still left over from the Olympics. There's one big old Olympic logo there. And the middle of the street is still blocked out for photos. I'm sure the locals love that. But that is kind of handy because normally you have to take your selfies like from either side of the bridge, and like you can see it's just not quite centered. But now you can do it right from the middle. Look at all the fun pics being taken today. The fun ones, fun for the whole fam, all the fams all over the world. Check it out, there's those Olympic rings right there. Paging Dr. Baguette. Emergency, emergency. Ooh, look at that. You know, they do all these river cruises down here. I've never done it. One of these days I'll have to do it. The problem is I'm always here in the winter, and it's like, who wants to go on a riverboat cruise in the winter? Are you insane? Well, you literally are. Yeah, that's right. I'm bringing the American dad jokes to Paris. Somebody's got to do it, friends. Somebody has got to do it. That is kind of a cool shot. You got the Olympic rings there, the Eiffel Tower, and the best part of all, you got little Allie in the photo. Oh, what a fun one. Anyway, there you go. It's the Eiffel Tower. We did it. Now it's time to find a ride across town. Look at this, Allie. Look at this little car. Can you believe how little the cars are in Europe? Look how small it is.
We have those cars at home.
Oh, yeah. All right, just a quick, and I mean 45 minutes long, drive across the city of Paris, little traffic, and suddenly we are high above the city on the hill and in the neighborhood of Montmartre. And look at that. There's Sacré-Cœur up there, the giant cathedral atop the hill. This is sort of a bohemian neighborhood. It's still sort of a hipster neighborhood, but it's been a bohemian neighborhood for a long time. As long as it's existed, you have all kinds of famous artists that have been up here, impressionists. You got people like Pablo Picasso that have hung out up here, supposedly Vincent van Gogh, and of course tons and tons of films have been shot up in this neighborhood. One, I like it because look at the beautiful views. Two, I like it because up in this neighborhood behind Sacré-Cœur, there's lots of guys doing like plein air painting, like open air, you know, doing paintings and stuff like that. And it's very much like what us Americans think of Paris looking like back here, which you'll see in a minute. But another reason I really love it up here, well, Allie loves it because there's a famous picture of Audrey Hepburn from up here that we recreated on a previous trip. But I love it because it always reminds me of one of my favorite movies of all time. This may come as a shock to you, Amélie. And Amélie lived in Montmartre, and a lot of that movie was filmed up in this area, this part of Paris. In fact, there's a famous scene where she is kind of leading her love interest up here near Sacré-Cœur. So down at the bottom of the hill, there's like a carousel, like a little merry-go-round type of thing, which we might see in a minute. And he comes running up some of the paths all along this area. So she's leading him up the hill. He's following a bunch of arrows to a human statue. I'll show you where the human statue was in a second, but I just noticed there's a human statue up here right now. Normally I wouldn't point the camera at them because they would get kind of aggressive about tips, but there's dudes with machine guns up here. Actually, I was just going to tell you that they normally sell love locks, and so you have all kinds of guys like trying to sell you the little locks that you write your name on and put on all these fences, and the guys selling the Eiffel Towers and all the scam artist guys are usually up here. But the gendarmes, the cops, are up here with machine guns. I don't want to point a camera directly at them. You just see those guys pick up their blankets with the Eiffel Towers and scurry out of here lickety split. So right down here you can see along this fence, you got those little like spyglass things. I don't know what those are called. The little telescope things right there. And so he's running up here and he sees the human statue actually standing just over here. And if I lined it up correctly, if I just come walking right around this angle, there's a shot where Nino is looking at the human statue who's pointing up, and he's pointing at one of those little telescope things up here. Right now there's like a dog park, so there's no more little telescopes. And he looks down and sees Amélie put something in his bag, and it's a whole scene in the movie. And last time Allie and I were in Paris, we came and scoped out some of the shots from Amélie, and I wanted to come back on this trip and do like a whole day where I just did a shot for shot thing, a whole Randomland episode just of Amélie filming locations, travel all around the city, go far out to all the different spots. And unfortunately, we're getting this one beautiful day in Paris on this trip. So I thought, do I save it for next time? Or let's just go and see some of the spots for fun. And while we're up here, we might as well take a few cute pictures of Allie. It's almost impossible to take a bad picture of you, little one. And we'll get to some more Amélie spots in a minute. But first, let's take a walk up there through Montmartre, because it's beautiful. And like I say, it's exactly what you think of as an American when you think of what Paris is supposed to look like. See, there's all those love locks that I was talking about. Allie and I have done that in the past. We did it on the Pont d'Arts, the old bridge where that was the thing. Oh my gosh, another little train. This is our day for trains. Look at this thing. I've never ridden on this. I always hear like the tour, like the little announcements on there being in French. Maybe there's an English one we can catch sometime. And this is the incredible sinking house of Montmartre. If you come over here on the sidewalk and get it at just the right angle, it makes it look like this thing is sinking into the ground. Then you flip it up. Just kidding. What's not to love? What a fun one. A fun trick for the whole fam. This human statue is moving around a lot for a human statue. Let's cruise up the stairs here. You can see tons of tourists everywhere. Oh, there's a guy playing the guitar. There's always guys doing music and stuff. Lots of times we see Americans up here actually rocking a little music up, and as soon as the machine gun guys leave, the Eiffel Towers come back on the ground. It's just that fast. Oh, another guy playing a little song. He's playing Hallelujah? Yeah, he is. These people are all waiting to get inside, but we're gonna cruise around back to the neighborhood behind. And yes, most of the stuff we're doing today is very touristy, is sort of the cliche stuff to do in Paris, but come on, when you're here, when in Rome, you gotta do as the Romans do. Actually, more accurately, when you're a tourist, you gotta do as the tourists do. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. Look at this. it's already getting stereotypical, which is so fun. Allie's gonna give him a little bit of a tip. How cool is that? We already see a guy with a beret, a striped shirt, an accordion. And now, we're heading over here. Other than me, you never see a guy in Paris in a striped shirt unless he's in a tourist area with an accordion. I've also never seen a guy wearing a beret. I see plenty of tourist girls wearing berets. I never see dudes wearing berets here that are actually from Paris. And I've never met anyone in Paris named Pierre. Our Uber driver's name was Mamadou. Mamadou. Unexpected. All right, just like all tourist shops, even in New York or anywhere in America, most of these shops do not like you filming and showing their very competitive prices over here or stealing their designs, but you can see all the souvenirs, all the little crepe shops, all the scarves and the berets and all the striped shirts, even for the babies. Then you have what purports to be real paintings, but they're really just prints. You got lots of prints of different scenic paintings and stuff like that. But if you keep walking down here, you'll find some guys actually painting right in front of your eyes, so you know they're actually real. Oh, look at this. Bonbons. Ah, bonbons. You get the skinny little houses, very Frenchy looking. You get all just the classic scenes. Like I say, it's exactly what you think Paris is going to look like as an American up here. I mean, look at that. Look at that little cafe right there. Look at little alley walking around. The flowers, the menus on the outside. Look at this, everybody's already starting to decorate for Christmas. You can see these guys over here with these pads. They're drawing pads. And what they'll do is they'll draw caricatures of you. We haven't done that yet. We're gonna do that one of these days up here in Montmartre. Get our caricatures drawn. I did 2 trips ago manage to buy Allie a little painting from right over here. So I met the actual guy who actually painted a scene from Montmartre. Now it's in her little sewing room. Hey, this is awesome. The last time we were here, they had this all set up like with tables and chairs for eating outside, and they pushed all the painters like off to the side. I can never remember the name of this square. Well, actually, I can remember the name of it. I can just never remember how to pronounce it, like Place du Tertre or something like that. And it's full of artists doing their paintings. Again, not super stoked, most of them, on you pointing a camera at them, but if we just kind of cruise through, we walk by, you can see lots of paintings out here, and there's plenty of guys who are actually doing it right in front of you. I'm sure there's some dudes who come out and put prints out here or whatever, but I love this. They're out here with their French cigarettes, making paintings, doing drawings, a lot of caricature artists, but lots of actual painters out here, which is like such a cool gig. If you could make a living doing this, like how cool is that? You get to hang out in Paris, meet tourists from literally all over the world. You got Chinese people here, Indian people, you got Americans, British people, people from Africa, just from all over the world. They come right to your doorstep here, looking for paintings, looking for berets. I mean, it's incredible. Look at all this. Look at this guy just painting right out here in the open air, living his life. It's awesome. I like to think we're like kindred spirits. Oh, look at that, an American flag up there. We're kindred spirits, me and these artists here. They're out here making their art. I'm out here making my art. If you can call this art, which I guess you could. You can call it anything you want. Oh, look at this. Look at this beautiful street art over here. Different kind of painting. I still appreciate it very much. Like I say, yeah, I get it. It's cliche. It's very touristy. But it's one of my favorite spots, coming up here and just watching the painters. This guy's over here with a pipe. He's just admiring his own artwork, smoking a pipe. Look at this guy. And I just love coming up here and just watching everybody, the hustle and bustle, the tourists, people taking their photos, buying paintings, going to the little cafes. I think I lost Allie. That's why I'm wandering around. But it's just a beautiful little scene, you know. Look at that. Hey, and more guys wearing berets. I love it. I just love all the old, like, you know, restaurant names on the buildings like this, and the old signs. I love all the neighborhoods in Paris that are touristy because they have an incentive to sort of keep things kind of old school out here, right? Vintage looking and all that stuff. And like I say, it's exactly what you expect Paris to look like if you're an American. And most of the city is, you know, relatively modern. There's McDonald's everywhere. We've noticed a ton more KFCs on this trip. Boba tea everywhere, Starbucks everywhere, that kind of thing. But you come up to Montmartre and you get all the little shutters on the windows and the vines growing everywhere. There's flowers. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at the flowers just growing up there. And you can see why this neighborhood's always been popular with artists and sort of bohemian people and beatniks and kind of rebels and stuff like that. And look at all the cute little gardens right here. Look at this, somebody's little front yard with their little gate. There's their little mailbox over there. I just love stuff like that. I absolutely love it. Whether I'm traveling in through, middle America in little small towns, or whether I'm in a little touristy neighborhood in Paris, there's just so much in this world to get excited about. But before I get too excited and use up all the footage on this episode, I guess we better get back on track with hunting our little Amélie filming locations. So other than those scenes around Sacré-Cœur, they didn't show this sort of touristy part of Montmartre too much in the film. Oh my gosh, look, Vinchard. It's mulled wine right there. You gotta get that hot wine in your gullet in Paris. But there's something over here I want to show you that's kind of related to the Amélie thing. Look, he's got this cat on his shoulder. I wish my cat would do that. Our cats don't do anything but make a mess, throw up hairballs everywhere. I guess we need a French cat. That's the secret. We need a chat. Ali, a chat. Oh, la vie en rose. Perfect. There's another thing that Montmartre is famous for. Look at that. There's Salvador Dali's name right up there. Another artist who hung out up here. A little bohemian lifestyle. Much like this guy. Look at him. Working away. They look upset. Why do they look upset? Maybe it's all the tourists in their neighborhood. This hill that's now Montmartre was famous back in the day because it gets all the wind up here. And back in the day, how did you grind up your grain? With windmills. And so there used to be a bunch of old windmills up here, like ancient, from the 1800s, 1700s. At least one of them still here around the corner. I've showed this before. There, hopefully you can see that just down the street there. You can see one old-timey windmill and then another house that's been designed with a windmill on top of it. That's going to be important in a little while. We'll circle back to that. But those windmills right there are famous landmarks up here. They're going to tie into the whole Amélie thing, but for me, the most famous landmark of all the landmarks in Paris, when it comes to Amélie especially, is just down the road over here. I mean, literally, maybe a 5-minute walk from where we just were up there with all the paintings. You can see we're headed downhill as well, which is handy, hard on the knees, but good for the brain. And look at this, dude. We're passing a very important doorway right now. And right here on this corner, this right here is the Maison Collignon in the movie. This is the grocer right downstairs from Amélie's apartment. That's right, Amélie lived right up there in this building. And look at this. It has a different name, obviously, as you can see right there on the little light up awning, which on my American camera is going to flicker like crazy. And yes, I know I can change the settings and fix that. However, I did not do that. I told you I didn't build this vlog to scale or to paint it, but look at this. Not only do they still have the produce stand outside, just like you see Lucien working at in the film, but they actually left the little sign up there, the Maison Collignon, because the grocer's name was Collignon. I don't know if you remember Lucien down here, like, Collignon, big moron. Collignon, dead and gone. And then look at this. They've got postcards and stickers and all kinds of little Amélie merch. It's the only Amélie merch I've ever seen in Paris is just up here in this area. And it's a real little green grocery. You can go inside. Ali and I went in last time, bought some snacks and stuff. But look at this. You can get your produce just like in the film. And then right around here, around the corner, just behind this lady over here, that was Amélie's door. This is the door number 56 to get into Amélie's little apartment building, where of course she has all those wacky adventures with all her neighbors. Then look at the poster in the window. You've got, well, that's where she works. That is not the grocery store right there, but there's the poster with the French title, which actually has a much longer name than just Amélie. I guess maybe there's more people than one named Amélie in France, so they couldn't just name it, after her. There's her neighbor with the glass bones right there. Look at all these little newspaper clippings. There's the actual grocer here who works in Montmartre, owns the place, and they're talking about the filmings. They got newspaper clippings. Oh, look, right there, there's the grocer. There's all like the filming, the lights and everything. This is so cool. I love that movie. I don't know why. Like, I wasn't a big foreign film guy, but for whatever reason, I went and saw Amélie when it came out in the States. It was such like an artistic movie. It has that weird green tint to it, It's like very hipster. It was very futuristic looking at its time. Of course, now it looks very like 2005, but it was filmed in 2001 or 2002, so, it was ahead of its time. It took me a while to get Ali to watch it, but now she watched it. Now she likes it. In fact, we even watched it on the plane ride over here. That's how much I love that film, I wasn't a big foreign film guy, like I say. I am now. I love like Japanese samurai movies, and I can do subtitles now. I've grown up. But this is like such a cool geek out spot for me, because for whatever reason, I jived with that movie. I understood Amélie. She's a weirdo like me. Dude, this is so cool. I saw a guy going in the door a second ago, Ali. Somebody lives there in Amélie's apartment. I'm sure they didn't probably film the interior of this exact building as Amélie's apartment, but they definitely got shots out of those windows down here, because she looks out the window and she sees Nino standing down here, basically right where I'm standing. However, one thing they did not show in the film is that just across the street from the grocer this way is a beautiful little cafe with the unusual name, The Beans on Fire. The beans, the beans, the beans are on fire. We don't need no water, let the beans. Never mind. Oh, look at this, I just noticed this. A little creperie out in front of the place. You can get crepes right here. It's called La Creperie de Amélie. That's awesome. Check it out, by the way, French Coke. Allie insists this tastes very different from Mexican Coke, because everyone's always saying, just get a Mexican Coke, same thing. Nah, it's got its own unique flavor. French Coke. I never, ever drink Coca-Cola at home. Whatever you're doing over there in Atlanta, stop doing it. Do what you're doing in Paris, because this stuff is good. Wow, this is crazy. The last time we were here, there was nobody. We've been standing here for a few minutes, and we're just getting tons of people taking pictures. See? People remember Amélie. Last time we were here, I was convinced, like, does nobody remember this film? All right, I don't really want any crepes, but I do want to head back inside to see what's going on. Oh, that's so cool. More little Amélie pictures everywhere. Oh, wow, look at all the little posters, all the little art in here, and then there's just groceries. Groceries everywhere. I love the chips here. I always get chips from this store. What were the chips we got last time? Some weird flavor. Gotta look at, well, they're all weird flavors. I can't read what the flavors are, so maybe they're normal flavors and they just have weird French names. Bouillon de legumes. So that's like bean bouillon? There we go. These are actually British, as you can see. These are surprisingly good. All right, you got what you got. Ah, poulet, nice. Paprika fume. Okay, look at this. Daddy sucre. Does that literally mean sugar daddy? They have a sugar daddy brand sugar? All right, I like that. I like that a lot. Oh man, even in Paris, they got Beetlejuice on the Fanta. Although I'm sure that this flavor is a lot better than the Beetlejuice flavor they had at home.
Yeah, probably.
That was so disgusting. What was this? Like nasty apple. That should have been the name.
Some sort of apple.
Nasty apple. All right, let's check out. Dude, and then this is the best thing. French crunch. Gluten-free. Why can't they do this in America for me? All right, we got our stuff. I forgot to ask for one of these bags. We got one of these last time, though. Look how cute that is. I got the little paper bags here for the produce. It's awesome, Allie. It's awesome. Okay, look at this. This guy's about ready to repaint the Beans on Fire sign. Look at his bike. What the heck is that? And you know, I like bicycles. I need a bicycle like that. Whoa, watch out, watch out. Ambulance coming. Ambulance coming. Calling Jan is in distress. He needs help. Okay, real fast. Two more things. Look at this. There's a freaking photo automat. Some genius was like, hey, let's put one of those photo booth machines here, because you remember that was a big deal in the movie Amélie. The grocery store's right there. And there's a freaking gluten-free bakery right here. All right, so if I ever live in Paris, I'm moving into Amélie's apartment, because I got a gluten-free bakery. I got a freaking photo spot right there. You can get your picture taken. I don't get yelled at for taking the bad pictures anymore. Nice! Now that we've seen Amélie's apartment and her grocery store here, which is one of my favorite spots from the film, just a short walk away is Amélie's work, and it's thankfully still farther downhill. By the way, look at all the art. That's another thing I love about Paris. The street art is on fire. I used to do a lot of collage art, especially for like punk rock flyers, album covers, stuff like that. And I used to do some street art, although I don't want to tell you where. I don't want anybody giving me a ticket. I don't know what the statute of limitations is for wheat pasting and stenciling spray paint stuff everywhere. But I keep thinking I ought to get back into it, you know? I started making music again recently with my buddies. Maybe I start making some art again. Dude, look at that. David Bowie, never a bad choice. Oh yeah, look at all the art. There's art everywhere. Look at this turtle right here, dude. This guy has no time to learn to be a ninja. He just went out and got himself a gun. I could seriously spend hours, like, just wandering around here looking at the art. I guess we'll save that for a future video. Somebody's all set up down here, dude, by this archway. Speaking of this archway, let's head off in this direction, see what we can see. I hope any of this video makes any sense at all, because I'm so distracted, right? I'm like, oh yeah, we'll show the Amélie spots. We'll do it really quick. It'll be a 5-minute video. Now this video is going to be like an hour long. But it's because around every corner, everywhere I look, there's something awesome to take a picture of, something awesome to film, something awesome to see. Like this, for example. Look at that. This is the famous love wall over here in Montmartre. Look at that. There's I love you written in like a zillion different languages. Very popular tourist photo spot. I've seen photos of this place a million times. I don't know if we've ever walked by it before, but there it is, the love wall. That's one of those Instagram versus reality things, you know? You see a picture of someone in front of the love wall, like, oh, how cute. Then you get here and there's umpteen billion tourists Although I can't blame him. Today's going to be crowded everywhere because it's been rainy and gross. And it's finally nice. Hey, by the way, I love you. Look at that pigeon up there. He's had enough. That pigeon had enough of the crowds. Beautiful. Love. Aww. Okay, I swear I'm going to show you one more Amélie spot, but speaking of distractions, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at this. First of all, this cafe right here is called Le Bimbo. And there's another place over here just called Fric Frac. Now, je ne parle pas français, like I can't speak very much French, but I feel like that's a sneaky way to swear. Ah, Le Bimbo, Fric Frac. Ah, Fric Frac, Le Bimbo. Ah, is it just me? Hey, the train is down here. We could have took the train the whole time. Aw, man. And look, more distractions. You got all these movie characters up on this thing. You got Gene Kelly, but look at that. There's Mickey Mouse. Bonjour, Mickey. It's like the Steamboat Willie, like a homemade Steamboat Willie right over here. Look at that thing. Okay, I wish that was for sale. You got Hitchcock over here. He would be proud, as my friend Adam would say. And it's freaking custom Mickey, French Mickey. That's so cool. And they're right across the street from one other place I wanted to show you really quick before we go in search of Amélie's work, because we already saw her house, which is what I've been trying to get to this whole time if I wasn't so distracted. And that's because Nino has got his scooter parked down here. We're now at the bottom of the hill for Sacre Coeur, see? And they show this little carousel, merry-go-round, whichever one it is, down here at the bottom. This is where he's parked, and he does like a whole runner up this entire hill to go see that living statue I showed you earlier. And look at it, there's the merry-go-round right there. Look at it, it's a two-story one. They have several of these scattered through Paris, and especially when they do Christmas markets, they always have tons of these. But this one's here all the time. It looks ancient, I don't know how old it actually is. And look at the little souvenir booth next to it. It's like perfectly themed. Anyway, another Amélie filming location. I've never actually stood next to this thing. I've seen it a bunch of times, but never actually stood next to it, and never noticed Mickey Mouse across the street on top of Le Studio Cafe over there. That was awesome. Now that that's done, we'll go to Amélie's work. You notice the stairs going way up the hill to Montmartre. They have like a funicular railway right here. They also have this famous set of stairs, like murder stairs. It's death to climb up those things. And Fred Astaire comes down those in Funny Face, which is one of Allie's favorite movies, and one day we'll have to go find some Funny Face filming locations for her because she loves that movie so much. Ah, yay! After a short walk, we finally found it. This is the cafe Amélie works at, the Café des Two Moulins, which means two windmills. Remember those windmills upstairs, up the hill in Montmartre? That is what the Deux Moulins refers to. That's why like Moulin Rouge just means red windmill, which by the way is actually right down the street, like right around the corner is the real Moulin Rouge. And we actually ate here in this cafe last time. I know Allie actually wants McDonald's, and so I don't know if we're going to go in and eat. It looks pretty much the same as it did in the film inside. And look at this, Amélie is literally right on the menu. I don't think they have the tobacco counter anymore, but it's basically pretty much the same looking as it is in the film. It's pretty flickery in there, and those flickery lights, but maybe see if we can take a look. Are you gonna eat here? We're just gonna go inside and get a Coke. Look at this. This is where the tobacco counter was. It's gone now. Look at that zinc countertop. The big picture of Amélie in the back. Remember they have that little glass thing where she wrote menu of the day. It's so awesome. All right, let's just get some Cokes or something. Just gonna take our seat here. Look at that, it's gorgeous. Look at the neon right there. Basically sitting right in front of the tobacco counter with Georgette or whatever her name is, the lady that's always sneezing and coughing. So cool. I'll show you a couple of French Cokes in here, and then keep on cruising on our one day of nice weather in Paris. But it's awesome. I love that movie, and it's just so cool being in here. And I've got my real life little weirdo. Got my real life little Amélie right there. I could be your Nino. Oh, it's thirsty work, hoofing it around Paris all day. Dude, this place is just so cool looking. There's that Amélie picture back there. Look at that. Look at the size of that thing. It's massive. Anyway, this is where we're going to have to leave you guys because I'm basically out of memory card now. I was not prepared. I wasn't really thinking about that. Look at this old TV over here. So we're going to finish up these Cokes and head out. And I can't wait to get back to the hotel and watch Amélie again. All right. And that's a wrap. There's tons more locations, obviously. You know, they film in front of Notre Dame. They film in front of canals and different stuff. Oh, side note. Why does that say French coffee shop right there? Just in case you were confused, that's a French coffee shop right there. There was tons of other locations I'd love to film one day and love to see. We just got to come to Paris sometime where we have more than one day to do everything we want to do. We got one more adventure coming up, but I think this one has been long enough. So do me a favor, if you like this video, check out the more than 1,000 other videos on this channel. Do the whole like and subscribe thing, all that kind of stuff. And we have a merch store, we got a Patreon, we got all kinds of ways that you can support the channel, keep these adventures coming. But for now, I think we've done our duty. It's time to hotel and sleep well. Bon oui. By the way, success, we made it to McDonald's. And Allie's gonna get herself a McDonald's donut. Ah, there you go. You finally got your creamy deluxe sauce. Yum. Bon appetit. Oh, and your potato. Get some McPotatoes. McTaters.